Hey everyone, welcome back to the Venture Mindset, the podcast where we give you the tools to level up your life. I'm your host, Adam Albright, and today, we're diving into a topic that I know is on a lot of people's minds, staying motivated and focused while working from home. And let's be honest, it's not always easy, right? Luckily, I'm not tackling this one alone. I've got an expert with me today who's going to help break down some practical, real-world tips you can use to keep your productivity on point, even when your couch is calling your name. Please welcome Maddison Groves, productivity coach, remote work specialist, and all-around focus guru.
Hey, Adam. Thanks so much for having me. I'm doing great. And yeah, working from home definitely has its perks, but like you said, it also comes with its fair share of challenges. It's all about finding the right balance, you know?
Totally. I can't tell you how many times I've sat down to work and ended up just, staring at the fridge or scrolling Instagram for like an hour. It's crazy how easy it is to get distracted. So let's just dive into it. What's the first thing you suggest for someone who's struggling to stay focused at home?
Oh yeah, I've definitely been there. The first thing I always tell people is to create a dedicated workspace. It doesn't have to be like, super fancy home office, but having a specific spot that's just for work? That's key. It could be a corner of your dining room, or even just a specific chair. But having that space makes a huge difference. When your brain associates that spot with getting things done, it's a lot easier to stay focused.
Right, so you're saying it's not about having like a perfect Pinterest setup, but more about consistency, like having a spot where your brain goes, okay, this is work time now. I love that. But what if you're tight on space? Like, what if you're working from the same room you sleep in?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's all about sending that signal to your brain. If you're working in the same space you relax in, try to keep some sort of separation, even if it's just putting your laptop away when you're done or sitting at a different part of the room. Honestly, those little things can make a big difference in how productive you feel.
That's super helpful. Okay, so we've got the workspace covered. What about routine? I know for me, when there's no commute or office time, it's easy to just kinda wander into work, if you know what I mean. What's your take on setting a routine when working from home?
Oh, totally. I think we've all had those days where you just, roll out of bed and go straight to your laptop. But having some sort of morning routine really helps set the tone for the day. And I don't mean, jumping straight into emails. Take some time for yourself, whether that's making coffee, doing a bit of stretching, or just sitting quietly for a few minutes. It helps you transition into work mode more smoothly.
I love that. It's like a mini reset before the craziness of the day starts. And it doesn't have to be this massive routine, right? Just something that gets you in the right headspace.
Exactly. It's all about what works for you. And then, once you're in the zone, having some sort of structure for your day is important. You don't have to stick to a strict 9 to 5, but having regular start and stop times can help you feel more in control.
That makes sense. So, I've got my workspace, I've got my routine, but let's talk about the real challenge, getting through my to-do list without feeling completely overwhelmed. How do you make sure you're staying on top of the important stuff?
That's where the 80-20 rule comes in. You've probably heard of it, right?
Yeah, I've heard it thrown around, but explain it for us.
Sure. So the idea is that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. Instead of stressing about every single thing on your list, focus on the tasks that actually move the needle. Like, every morning, pick out the top 2 or 3 things you really need to get done. Start with those, and by the end of the day, you'll feel so much more accomplished, even if you don't check off everything.
I love that. It's like giving yourself permission to not do everything at once. But what about distractions? Because, let's be real, when you're working from home, they're everywhere. The laundry, Netflix, my phone. It's endless.
Oh yeah, distractions are no joke. The first step is being aware of what your main distractions are, whether it's your phone, the TV, or, just the temptation to grab a snack. Once you know what's pulling your attention away, you can deal with it. I love using the Pomodoro Technique. You work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. It helps you stay focused in short bursts, and those little breaks help you reset before diving back into work.
That's a great tip. And those breaks sound perfect for avoiding burnout too. Speaking of which, do you think working from home makes burnout easier or harder to spot? Sometimes it's hard to tell when to stop, you know?
It's definitely easier to burn out when your home and work life blend together. That's why taking real breaks is so important. Get up, move around, go outside if you can. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you need to be on all the time, but those breaks help recharge your brain. You come back feeling refreshed and ready to focus again.
I feel that. Now, the last big challenge I hear about is isolation. Not having coworkers around can make you feel kind of disconnected. Any advice for staying connected while working remotely?
Yeah, the isolation is real. But it's important to stay connected with your team or your peers. Even if it's just a quick video call or, like, a casual chat during the day, those little interactions can make you feel more grounded. It doesn't have to be all work talk either. Sometimes just having a conversation with someone helps keep that social energy going.
Totally. And I guess it helps break up the day a bit too. All right, last question before we wrap up. What's your best tip for staying motivated when working from home starts to feel like a grind?
I'd say, don't forget to celebrate your small wins. It's easy to get caught up in what you haven't done yet, but recognizing the little victories helps keep you motivated. Maybe you finished a big project or just stayed focused for a solid hour. Celebrate that. Acknowledging those moments keeps your momentum going.
I love that. Celebrating progress, even if it's just a little bit, makes a huge difference. Maddison, these tips have been gold. I'm definitely going to rethink how I approach working from home, starting right now.
Glad I could help. It's all about finding what works for you and, being kind to yourself in the process.
Well, thanks again, Maddison, for dropping some serious wisdom today. I know our listeners are going to love this episode. And for everyone listening, if you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and share this episode with a friend who could use a little work from home motivation. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time on the Venture Mindset.